Oh, wow. Those of you that I did talk to, a few of you, I didn't lie to you. Um, that game was everything I thought it would be and a little bit more. I felt at the end that it was an incredible team win. I mean, everybody got a rebound, I think, except Kerr. I was mad at him for not getting one in 9 seconds, but we had different heroes and our crowd was one of them. Um, Hard at 8 o'clock game against a team like that. I thought our crowd, when Cohen made a couple of those plays, really got us back in it too. But as I look at this thing, we struggled. Jeremy struggled early. He's still not where he's going to be, and it's just going to take a little more time. I didn't think our bigs played as good tonight as they played, yet they all made some big plays at certain times. Thought Jaden Akins, after a rocky start, played very well and made some big plays. I mean, how do you go from a 25-point swing in 7 minutes? I mean, that's encouraging, I guess. Trey Holloman did a lot of really good things and yet shot it terribly, but 9 assists. He had 5 turnovers, and that was a problem, but he did defend pretty well. Carson Cooper, Coop I thought their big guys played well, and usually Coop's as good a defender as we can, but probably other than Jaden, the stars of the game for me were Xavier Booker. 10 minutes, he made that big three, he made the tip in, and then he came back with that rolling hook. So he's going to play more and more and more, but it is hard when we're playing small. And we were getting driven, and we had to get Cohen and play him at the 4 a lot. That was the only reason. Now we'll start playing guys of regular size again. It's been hard with some of these preseason games. And I thought Jace Richardson was phenomenal. He just looked comfortable to me, and it's going to take me a little time to understand him. It's going to take him a little time to understand things, but he very smooth and very doesn't panic, and did a hell of a job. We played some guys too many minutes, meaning a game like that, and Jaden, gets 28, and I told him, and I'll tell you, that technical is so unlike him, but it cost us a lot because it was stop the run, and then it got his third or fourth foul. So, there's different reasons why you don't want guys doing that. And probably of all the guys on my team, and I told the ref, did he really say that much that you tee him? No warning, no nothing? I was a little disappointed in that because I know the kid. So start out 3 for 15 and have 7 turnovers in the first 12 minutes, and then go 12 for 16 and have 0 turnovers the rest of the half. It was a difference in the game. And second half, still got a little sloppy, and we didn't guard the drive as well. We started to become too worried about the threes. And I thought, give them credit. I mean, they're well coached. It's a good team. They play hard as hell. They got good players. This was a game that, probably meant nothing to most of our fans or you. But I told you it meant a lot to me because I knew it was such a difficult prep. And I give my assistants a lot of credit. It was such a difficult prep. I mean, they press you 9 different ways. And to do that in 2 days, I thought was a great job on our part. But give them credit. That's going to be a good team, a really good team, really well coached, really good players.
Tom, I'm wondering about real quick, an update on Jace's ankle at all.
Yeah, I don't have an update. I'm not a doctor, but it seems to be a sprain. But knowing the way the world is, I'm sure they'll x-ray it and MRI it, and they'll go through it. But I told him he can take a day off, but not 2, and he said that's fine with him. So, I mean, it was a significant, it looked like sprain, but he was happy in the locker room, so I think he's going to be okay. I just don't know how long he'll be out. I mean, he's going to miss a few days. There's no question about that.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is the long game that Bucky was talking about for a game like this, and you've been through this probably more than he has, but when you do play these kind of games at this point in the year, how quickly do you get the results in the next game, the game after versus later in the season?
Yeah, I think he'll get them more than I will. I really do. And you know, Martin Newton's the AD there, and a very good friend of mine from Nike from 30 years ago when I started. And I think they've done a hell of a job, and I think this will help them. But it'll help us too. I mean, you don't run into many teams that press on makes and misses and this and that, and they do. You don't find many teams. I mean, we actually disappointed in the field goal percentage. 60% second half is disgusting, but we did hold them down on their threes decently. They made 9, but they got those couple late. They had 19 turnovers. I think we did a decent job on that. We had 14, which was disappointing, but when you have 7 in the first couple minutes, it's probably not. But I think we'll reap the benefits quickly. I know Colorado, next team we play, presses some. So we'll get, this game will help us. I hate to admit it, but you play these games and everybody just wants the Kansas games. What we tried to do this year, and we got a couple more coming up, is I never was happy with our ranking at the end, because I always thought we played a tough schedule, and you play 3 or 4 teams that you have to play somebody at home. And so we said we got to upgrade a little bit in the mid-major deal. Well, this was a hell of an upgrade. I give them a lot of credit. I think they're going to be really good.
Tom, over here on your left, I was wondering, the 0 for 9 start, I think it was, when you're facing a zone and you're getting the open looks from 3, is it just putting your hands up at this point in time and saying they're going to fall sooner or later? And it seemed like there were more of those step-back, late shot clock attempts
There were a
today.
couple, but there were some open looks. I mean, which one did you say? You said open looks, and then you said there were a couple of bad ones.
Open looks really, and then some of those step-backs.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I did think we took a couple of bad ones, but I thought we took a lot of good ones early. I would have taken every one of those, and they just didn't go in. And I didn't put my hands up. I did this. I'm a Catholic. I just prayed, for God's sakes, we're going to make one. And but once we hit one, Jaden, I think did Book hit the first one? I mean, I can't tell you how big that was. I'm not trying to make him feel better. I think this will be a big step for Book. I really do. And he'll get, his minutes will go up. I guarantee you that.
Over here to your right. Tom, that first 12 minutes, but really the first 5, just the frenzy that was, it looked like your team was uncomfortable in that situation. And I'm curious, when you schedule a team like Samford that going in, this is what they do, this is what pressure they're going to give you, how valuable is that for your team to experience that and grow from it against a team like that?
Well, it is. And, the problem with it is, players are hearing from everybody. I don't even know what we were favored. I mean, now everything's about gambling now. Were we favored or no? 2.5. So when those things happen, these kids, I don't know if they did or didn't respect them. We worked so hard on that press for 2 days, and the zone stuff. I mean, we had a lot of things we haven't seen at all, and we saw them all tonight. So I don't blame the guys for that. It's just part of the way it is right now. And you play some of these teams that are really, really good. I mean, there is a good team. I think Bowling Green is a good team. Now, I don't know if they can shoot like they did early, but they were good that day. And we just got to get a little better with a couple of guys, got to get better. And I think we'll grow. I mean, we aren't close to where we are. You got to remember, Jeremy's really a freshman yet. Jace is a freshman yet. We have some guys that have taken different roles. It's take a while for Jaden to realize he's the first option, not the third option. And it's funny because I talked to Walker today, and he had 35 in a game the other night, and he said, Coach, remember my first year? You know, remember my first couple games? He was terrible. Who did we play in the champions that year? He wasn't very good, you know. And so I think there's some truth to that. So I'm just happy that all of our players contributed something tonight.
Tom, we know we talk about these mid-major teams every year, and you talk about the importance of a game like this, but this is a team who made the NCAA tournament last year. Can you kind of walk through the improvements you see from the mid-major teams you face year in, year out?
Well, there's a lot of improvements, and I think one of the reasons is, you know, the transfer portal. Everybody talks about the players that are being taken from those teams, which there are. But then there's players that are at big schools that think they're going to Duke or Kentucky, and that doesn't happen, and then that's where they land. So there's been a couple of pretty good players, you know, that, I mean, that kid, that little guard at Bowling Green was really good, and, you know, a couple of these kids were, you know, were pretty damn good. So I think, I don't know what it's going to do, you know, I don't know if it's going to be a plus or minus down the road, but right now, I'm just happy that we got a win, shooting it a little better, had some adversity, saw a completely different system. I mean, zone, 1-3-1, 2-3, pressing after baskets, just amazing. And not many teams that will we ever play that many different kinds of coverages, even in their ball screen coverage. And so, again, my assistants did a hell of a job. Players picked it up.
Plus 10 and made free throws again in an 8-point game. You're averaging almost 21 makes a game. Are you confident that will translate? You can carry that over all year?
I don't know. That's illegal for us, though. As you know, there's been years where teams have made more than we've shot. And I can think you can tell how valuable it is. And, you know, it's funny because the night before every game, we go down there and we shoot free throws for 15 minutes. And we keep track of what we make, and we've been at 90% as a whole team. And it gets now to the point where there's some confidence in it. And I see guys, maybe, you know, poor Coop, he's been shooting great there and great. And he struggled a little bit tonight, but I give Jeremy credit. Sitting on the bench a long time and goes in and hits 2 big free throws late. So, yeah, free throw shooting, I don't know what it's going to translate into. I just hope it keeps going like it was. We were 16 for 16 at one time. So that's really been helpful as we move forward. We are getting fouled. Frankie, I mean, you know, he's struggling. I mean, he is struggling on some things, but he's averaging, God, he's got to be averaging 8-9 free throws a game, you know, 7-8, and that's there's value to that because not only do we get there earlier, he makes his, and somebody's getting in foul trouble, so it's a 3-headed monster.
Coach, you mentioned Jaden maybe needing some time to adjust being the go-to scorer. Can a performance like this maybe be the eye-opening thing he needed?
Yeah, I mean, Jaden is a pretty confident kid, so I don't think he lacks his confidence, but hey, let's face it, I mean, you know, we haven't pulled any punches here, you know, we have struggled shooting the ball, you know, and but I told you of all the guys I got, there's nobody that works on it harder, and I just think sometimes he's not ready to shoot like he should be, and but he's getting there. Today, you know, he had to take a couple bad ones because of the shot clock, because people put him in a bad position, but I thought all in all, I mean, it started with, you know, talk about our bigs didn't play very well, but Kohler gave him an unbelievable pass, and he gave one to Jace that for threes that was sensational, you know, so Kohler had 2 assists. I didn't think he played real well in the first half either, and he led us in rebounding in the first half. So guys are doing more, but it was hard to get the ball into Jackson the way they were just swarming anything inside. It's probably why we took 24 threes, and I still think most of them were wide open. I thought we had good looks, just didn't make them.
Tom, college basketball tournaments, what are the opportunities and challenges of them, and how important are they to college basketball in general, just to have these tournaments.
Yeah,
not
I mean, I
just
think
Maui,
they're
but-
important because it gives you something in November and December that's exciting. I mean, you look at the teams now. I think 3 of the teams are ranked in the top 5 or 6 that are in Maui, and some other ones are every bit as good. And there's no Chaminade this year, so it's a loaded field. But there's other tournaments, and I think they bring a little something. That the advantage to Maui is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It doesn't interfere with football for the most part. Maybe a little Monday night, but I think that's a plus. So, I mean, I think it's good. What's the minus? It's a 10-hour flight. You know, we fly into Oakland and then fly over from there, but coming back, it's difficult too, but I think we scheduled properly and gave ourselves, we used to always have to come back and play the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And by not playing that, we gave ourselves an extra 2 days, because that's always a brutal trip coming back. But I think our guys will be excited about it. The competition's gonna be unbelievable, and we'll get another view on where we are, and we gotta play better. We gotta play more consistent. And our defense has been pretty good, but it's kind of let us down in stretches here, you know. Second half here, first half against Bowling Green, so we got to shore that up a little bit. Yes.
As you played Jeremy, I just wondered what you saw on the court that led to that balance of minutes tonight.
Well, we didn't want to play Trey in that many minutes, and you can tell it probably affected his shooting. It was just one of those nights where, you know, early on I didn't think Jeremy, but Jeremy will bounce back. He's a tough kid. He'll bounce back, and we still played 13 minutes, you know. Trey has only been playing 12 because he's been in foul trouble 2 of the 3 games. So that's the only thing about him. But between Trey and Jeremy and Jace, you know, and Jaden, you know, we got 4 pretty good guards now that can do some things, but they're not all where they need to be yet, and they're getting there. But it was really good to see Jace. He played really well, and he played really poised, and that's kind of what he is. Even in Kansas, the moment's never too big for him. That's the one thing I'll say about him, that he's and he was really good on the bench, and he was really good in the halftime. You know, he's got some energy to him. I thought the difference was in our team too. The energy level was so much better, and that is what's amazing. I was talking to Mick Cronin today, and he told me about a coach that said something that I don't like starting out shooting the ball well. And I looked at his stats out there, and his best shooter, I think, has been 1 for 14 from the 3, and he's shooting in the 20s. And I said, well, you might not like it, but I'd like to be shooting better than we are. He said, yeah, but look at the other side. He said, I learned from you that if you defend and rebound, you can win games. And what this has done is we've had to find a way to win games other than shooting it. And eventually we're going to shoot it better. And his point was we're going to be so much better then. It's kind of a backwards way of thinking since Mick moved from the Midwest out west. I think he got a little cuckoo on me, but I love him. I think he's right on the money on that, and I think we're going to do a better job of, you know, we just got to make sure now we don't think our offense is going to carry us. We got to use our defense and our rebounding, and we didn't rebound as well either. But I'm telling you now, that team comes at you. I wish you knew how difficult. I mean, the thing that was really good. I mean, look at Trey, 6 steals. Jace, 4 steals. I don't think we've ever had 13 steals in a game, and they're the pressing team and only had 7. You know, so there's some good things we're doing. It's just it doesn't look good and then doesn't feel good when the ball's not going. I mean, our fans, when we hit 2 threes in a row, I mean, they were phenomenal. But I don't blame them for not being when that ball's clanging off the rim, you know. We're going to shoot it better. I mean, those guys have all shot well enough over their careers that it's going to come back. And Jeremy will bounce back. And every day it could be a different guy in a way, you know, for a while until we get things ironed out. I mean, we're 5 games in, not 15. Anybody else? Thanks, guys. Those of you going to Hawaii, Any of you going, or you not able to? You're going to Hawaii? Oh, your son meeting you there? Wow. What a-